Making it happen.
I don't know that my sister knows where she's going. Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody.
We're on.
Hey, guys.
And we are live.
Yeah, we are.
Thanks, everybody, for watching the Texas Toast Weekly podcast. We are back to normal now after our trip to Nashville, where we were a day late on our podcast. But now we're back to Sundays at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So thanks for joining us, everybody. With me, as always, is Chris. However, there's a few notable absences today. Most importantly is my beard is gone. Look how handsome I am, everybody. So I don't have a beard anymore. And Mrs. Texas Toast is not joining us today. As a matter of fact, she has passed out on the couch. It's just too damn hot. So so Mrs. Texas Toast will not be joining us today. So Chris is going to monitor comments on his phone, and yeah, so let's
see if we can make that work.
Let's go ahead and get started. Let's just do this. We got beers.
Oh, good.
I mean, we're ready.
I was concerned that we didn't have any beers.
It's pretty much the standard Texas Toast podcast.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Get started. Hey, your phone is doing that thing again.
And, and I thought I had it turned down, but I didn't. And then here we go. Okay, now
how many people are with us?
6 people are with us right now.
6. Okay.
Yeah, Dirty Knobs, Happy Ads, Doc Sillington. Yeah, I'm terrible at names. But yeah. Goslin Creative, Crispy Sid.
Nice. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us. You,
Joel.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Good. It is unbelievably hot here today, and I was out just in my horse trough pool, enjoying the horse trophiness of it all. So anyway, so what's been going on in the shop, Chris? What do you want to tell everybody about?
Well, we didn't work for a couple days because we were recovering from and I didn't realize just how punch drunk I was. Until I went back and watched that podcast. I thought, I'm feeling pretty good. And
People
I went home.
Said that you were the most talkative that you ever were.
When it's just us two, I think I'm probably more talkative too. And that'll probably happen today too.
We'll see.
So,
we'll see.
But hopefully I won't offend anybody. I offended a lady named Linda last week. Not intentionally, and I don't actually think she was.
Do you think
offended.
She'll cut you a break? I bet you.
I think she will because she's cool like that. But yeah. My filter will be more on today.
Oh, come on, dude. Filter free Chris.
No.
We're gonna see if we can get Chris some tequila in him.
Filter free. It's gonna take a a lot more than that. Yeah.
Tequila? Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure out what the right combination is, and we'll get a recipe going, and then we'll know what ingredients we need for every podcast.
Yeah. So I think in the shop this week, just kind of getting restarted after after the what turned out to be a huge push to do the NAMM show. And you don't really realize how hard you're pushing all of that stuff until it's all over. and all of a sudden I looked up and I'm like, it's July 27th. What happened to the rest of July?
And as someone who's almost 50, 5 days in the car ain't much fun.
No,
I don't know. I like to think that as a younger man, I could have done 5 days in the car and not had it be such a big deal. But this last trip and spending 5 days in the car really stunk.
Yeah, I didn't actually mind it. Those days just sort of disappear. But when they're going, it was fun. I enjoyed driving. I enjoyed seeing places that I hadn't driven through in decades
trees
and decades, and
before,
trees I haven't seen, bridges I haven't seen.
Yep.
We almost stopped at the St. Louis Arch. That
almost did.
Almost cool.
Man, we almost did a lot of really great stuff.
Yeah, we almost stopped at the Evel Knievel Museum in Topeka.
Almost.
I mean, you just don't get that close that often to almost doing those things.
Almost doing great stuff. But you know what, though? I'm really glad to be back in the workshop and working. There's been a bunch of stuff that I need to catch up on, and I'm still not caught up, but we're moving forward. And what happens is you order pieces for something and you don't get them, and then you leave town and you need to send stuff to somewhere and you don't, and then you leave. So I think this week I'll be ready to hit it hard. But you're actually going to be gone for part of the week because you've got some company in town.
Yeah, my sister's in town, and there's things
you got to make moves.
Yeah, it's not all guitar fun.
That's right. It's not all punk rock.
I
and
have a
wrestling
life
masks.
outside of Texas Toast
I know,
Guitars. Not
you
much
do.
of one, but I do have a life
I,
outside of it.
well, I have my marching orders and I know what I'm to do. So I'll get started on that. We've got another Toast Stripe project going, and we've got some Gibson RDs that are probably going to start happening here as soon as I get the template sets. And yeah, so but we've got something kind of cool. Actually, it's really cool in the back, and it's this fractal. It's that can of Coors Light. It's this fractal burnt guitar body. Now, this is not a left-handed one. This is actually on the back of a guitar. Hold on. So it's just a regular Fullerton single cut style. It's ready for a neck, and it's ready for some sanding right here. But yeah, so it's got this cool. I'm gonna see if I can get this. If you can see, you guys can need to see like how deep those scorch marks go. That's actually burned in with electricity. And I did a video on that with the guy who did all the scorching, Andy. And yeah, so that's kind of a cool thing. And what are we selling this one for, Chris? $100?
$100.
$100. So if you guys are
plus shipping,
if you guys are interested in this guitar here with the cool fractally burnt stuff, it's $100. I've got some other ones that are on the table here. These are daily drivers, but they're a little bit different. We're calling these the daily drunk drivers, and they're extra cool because they're just glued up woods that don't owe us anything, and they have lots of tone in the woods because they've got everything. This one has
all the tone.
This one has alder and poplar and ash. The one that your phone is on has a big chunk of mahogany and a big chunk of maple, and it weighs 100 million pounds. And it also has it also has a piece of white limba. So yeah, so mahogany, white limba, mahogany, poplar, and maple. And there's another one down there that's alder, poplar, and mahogany. If you guys are interested in any of these, $100. Anyway, so good enough.
Yep.
Good enough on that. Send me an email if you guys are interested in any of these, the daily drunk drivers or the fractal scorched guitar. But let's move forward. That's only a 7-minute intro, not too bad.
Yeah. Well, and you already talked about one of the big things, which was what happened to your face. What's up, guys? Did the stress of NAMM cause your facial hair to run away?
It did not, but the heat of the South probably had something to do with it. I was just like, I got to get rid of this facial hair. Now I'm starting to grow it back right now.
Are you?
I haven't decided
to. That's what you did last time. You're like, I'm going to cut this off. And literally you're like, I don't like it. I'm going to grow it back. And it seemed like it grew back instantly.
I want to be ready for winter. So yeah, mostly because I'm done with summer.
I don't think beards keep you that much warmer.
No, but I think they keep you that much warmer in the summertime.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would go with that.
I can tell you that when I'm like walking the dog with a freshly shaved face, it's not nearly as nice as with
in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because then you get icicles on your beard too. So
yeah. No, we will not clear fill the this.
Not for the $99.
You can. Yeah, that's typically what guys do with that stuff.
I think it looks cool as is because
you could just
it's burnt, and I like that it's burnt. If you want to fill it with something, you absolutely could.
Yeah. No, we haven't finished the EBO bass yet.
No, the EBO bass is one of those jobs that I only work on when I have free time, and free time is at a premium right now. There's none of it.
Especially there at the end.
Yeah. Right before NAMM, there was really no free EBO time. But I think that I need to take 20 minutes and do another EBO video. What should we do next? Actually, you know what? That's a great. I'm going to ask you guys. What do you want to see us do next on the EBO bass resto mod? If you have any ideas that actually make sense in terms of when. See you, Karen. When everything has to be done in a timeline that makes sense. So, I mean,
I want to see you put strings on it.
Yeah. So if people say that, then that's not going to happen. But the neck needs to be sanded and ready for refinish. And there's some tricks to doing the old Gibsons because there's just a great big block of pearl that becomes the logo. So that's something that will probably happen in the next video. What is there anything else going on?
No, there's just
what happened to your face and how come the EBO video isn't
and a little bit of talk about the guitar in back of us, and people still checking in. We're up to 37 now. That's pretty neat.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
There is a new video. So I've been really lax on video posting lately. It's been mostly dumb videos, but the video I'm gonna post tomorrow is what's the difference between my beloved pin router and a CNC? People, I posted like a little quick video of just me. This was on Facebook and Instagram, and it was just me holding my phone camera and running the sled through my pin router. And people are like, sure looks like a CNC to me. And I'm like, well, you know what? Let me show you what the differences are between my beloved pin router and a CNC. And yeah, so stick around and check that video out tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be called. Probably what's the difference between a CNC and a pin router? I don't know. We'll find out.
Knowing you, it's going to be what's the difference between
what's
CNC
the sexy reason
and a pin router butthole.
That's right. You won't believe what the differences are.
Yeah. Watch what happens next.
Watch what happens when you take a sexy thing and mix it with a other deal. Anyway, so Chris, let's move right along to our main topic, which I think everyone wants to know. What's a Fudd?
What is a Fudd?
Well, a Fudd, for everyone who doesn't know, is a term that I'm trying to culturally appropriate from one leisure activity. I don't really want to say leisure. One discretionary income activity to our discretionary income activity. So as and you know what, we're blazing new trails here. We can make this be whatever we want. And from this day forward, when people on guitar forums refer to Fudds, we are going to have set the precedent as to what a Fudd is. Right?
Okay. Yes.
So a Fudd are those guys on internet forums who take all the fun out of playing guitar,
or whatever that forum is,
or whatever that forum is, whether race cars or baking cupcakes. I don't know what. Yeah. Whatever it is, the cupcake forum.
The gene Fudds are the worst.
Gene Fudds. So this is a term that that if you know anything about the firearm industry, they have they talk a lot about Fudds and Fudd wisdom and Fudd sayings. So I think that the guitar world is ready to have Fudds be called out as Fudds.
Are you saying fudge?
Fudd, like as in Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
somebody else said fudge.
Fudge. Yeah, I like Fudge.
Elmer Fudd. And what is Elmer Fudd?
He takes all the fun out of everything,
and he's not good at any of it.
He's not good at any of it.
Terrible. And instead of
chasing something that can't be caught,
and he's not happy about it, and he decides, he's going to make everybody else unhappy about it too. And
now, if you have a speech impediment, you are not necessarily a Fudd, unless you're a Fudd who just so happens. But you see, it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Let it be known that I am not trying to make fun of the way people talk.
Yeah.
If anyone talks like Elmer Fudd.
Is a Fudd a drama queen?
Again, we're sort of in the we're in uncharted territory. We can make a Fudd be whatever we want.
Okay.
So why not? Especially if the drama queen part of what a Fudd is talking about. Well, wait a minute. So, like, say for example, you're on an internet forum and someone gets real over dramatic about something. That could be a Fuddy thing to do, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you guys know, I'm sure you've interacted with these people, and I think it's also possible to bounce in and out of Fudddom depending on what you're into. You know what I mean? So what Chris and I think are Fudd things, you might not agree with, and we might not agree with what you think are Fudd things. But
are we Fudds?
I would put us squarely in the Fudd category on some stuff.
Okay.
On the other hand, we try to unfudd a lot of misnomers, like with videos and stuff. So like
Fuddbusters.
Fuddbuster. That's right. We're to the new shirt. Weenie Roller Operators Union and Fuddbusters.
Fuddbusters Union. That's right.
Who are you gonna call? So it's but the people that like have to kind of, hey, I got this neat new thing, and okay, so here's a perfect example of a Fudd thing that happened to me once. My my Boss pedal, that's a tuner. What is it? The T1 or whatever the Boss tuner pedal is. It broke, and so I needed to get a new one, so I went to wherever it was, Guitar Center or something. I needed a new tuner pedal, and instead of getting a Boss one, which provided yeoman service, I'm like, well, I want to try something different. So I got the Korg tuner. It's the same thing, you know. It's a pedal and it's a tuner and it does everything. So this Fudd, it's like, oh man, I would have gone with the Boss tuner because the Korg's not very accurate. Really?
Not very accurate.
Really? How? Yeah.
It's a tuner.
I'm thinking that, yeah, it's probably way more accurate.
Mathematical equation. Yeah.
So that's a Fudd thing that happened to me one time. And it's just, you know, like, I don't like the thing that you got. And instead of not saying anything, I'm going to say some Fudd thing, which is, you know, you should have got what I like because it's better and I'm better than you. How about that? Guitar Fudds. So if you guys have any Fudd-isms, absolutely, please let us know in the comment section. To the what side is it on? To the right?
Yeah, it'd be on the right side.
All
yeah.
right.
So somebody says old internet lingo Fudd meant fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
I think that's another
sounds,
great. It sounds pretty Fudd-tastic to me.
And mutter fudders. It's also a Fudd packer thing, which I thought was funny, but I don't know that that's
I don't know if that's the same
appropriate
thing. Yeah,
maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I think just the idea that if I'm not having fun with this and nobody else is allowed to have fun with,
I'm going to take all the fun out of something and nerd this up to the point where no one wants to talk to me about it because, yeah, all I do is wreck the
obsess about things that I can't really control or can't.
So here's a Fuddism. We get this one a lot. Can you repaint my guitar with nitro? Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with lacquer, although I have in the past said that it sucks, but that was a video title. But so the idea is that we don't spray lacquer, and there's a number of reasons that we don't. There's lots of guys who do. So, but just the whole, like, if you use the word nitro instead of nitrocellulose or lacquer, which, you know, could also be acrylic, that to me is kind of a fuddy thing to do.
Well, okay,
you know?
so
the whole idea is, well, if you want it if you want your guitar finished in lacquer, sorry, we don't do that. But what's the reason that you want that? Is it because you like the way it smells? I would absolutely buy off on that. If someone said, "Can you refinish my guitar in nitrocellulose lacquer? I like the way it smells." Then you got, okay, yeah, I'm on board with that. But if you just call me and say, "Can you do it in nitro?" That's just repeating something that you heard on some forum somewhere. And if you like nitrocellulose, that's cool. But, you know, and I don't need to know why people do or don't like nitrocellulose lacquer. I think I already know, but it's not my thing. So it's what I do. I do me, you do you, and, you know, Fudd.
Yeah, so you like the guitar enough, but you're somehow those people to me are the guys that are really insecure about it, and they're like, I like this guitar and I think it's really neat, but I've heard that this finish is really holding back this guitar.
Yeah.
So if I have it refinished in this other thing, it will sound better and I will like it even more, or people will know that I know what I'm talking about, even though
especially if I use a buzzword like nitro, Monday nitro, and Sunday.
Yeah. So
what do you got on the
there's
there's some Fudd stuff going on.
It's a Fudds world.
It's a Fudds world. It is a Fudds world, and that's
you can watch Fudders on every artistic guitar video. And I used to be kind of that way. I mean, I don't know that I ever took the fun out of it. I probably did for somebody.
I think
I thought it was
for the most part, you took the
that.
fun out of for yourself, probably more than anyone else, right?
Yeah, kind of. I've always
not necessarily you, but like people in general.
I don't know. I've always said that in a lot of ways, well, especially recently, the guitar is not what's holding me back from being a better guitar player. It's me, and it's the amount of practice or not practice or musical ability that I have. And if I concentrate on having fun with it, then it's all a lot more fun than if I worry about, well, how does this sound? How does that sound? Am I, impressing all my peers with my my cool gear and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, and
Now,
I used to have all sorts of weird.
Don't make any mistakes. We are
things.
not suggesting that you should not try and impress your peers with your cool gear, particularly your cool Texas Toast gear. But if you obsess over that stuff, then the key word in the phrase "I'm going to go play the guitar" is play. You know, I'm not going to go work the guitar. I'm going to go obsess the guitar for a while. But that's what, unfortunately, what happens. And it strips a lot of the fun out of something that should be, something that you can do and relax and have a great time with literally until the day you die. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
It's not like, if you were like kids in high school who play football, the majority of those guys probably aren't playing football into their 70s. But if you started to play the guitar, you could enjoy the guitar or anything musical for, as like I say, the rest of your life. And that's a cool thing. And yeah, don't wreck it for other people by being a Fudd about it. Now, enjoy all the super cool stuff that you have, but let everyone else do their thing too. So how about that? Is that?
Yeah, there you go. And really it's yeah, if you like something cool, if somebody else likes something cool for them, we don't all have to like the same stuff, and you don't have to convince me. Oh, and
I do. So we get this a lot. Like people will bring us ideas like, hey, I want, some guitar but I want a different pickup arrangement, or I want a different trim, or I want a different scale neck. And then, other people hear about it. Well, why would you want to do that? Well, who cares why anybody would want to do something? They want to do it for their own personal reasons. And yeah, don't Fudd around and wreck it for them. Oh, you wrecked it. So yeah, so hopefully you guys have some Fudd stories that you can tell, or some Fudd-isms. What do you got? You got any other Fudd-isms, like the particularly Fuddy things to say?
Yeah, guitar Fudd statement. I hate shiny guitars. That kind of reminds me of that guy at the NAMM show a couple of years ago who was standing in the D'Angelico booth, and he's like playing this guitar. It's an electric guitar. He's playing it acoustically. His girlfriend's standing next to him. He's playing it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is a pretty cool guitar, I guess. Although I might buy this guitar if it was painted in nitro." And his girlfriend says to him, "Really? I thought it would have to be red because all your guitars are red." I think that's how it went, right?
Something like that. Yeah, the word nitro was definitely
used. And I think he was trying to impress her, and she didn't know squat about guitars, but she knew that he liked red guitars. So
there's nothing. I like. I was actually talking to last night, I went to the Dangerous Toys show, and I was talking with Scott, who is the guitar player from Dangerous Toys and the owner operator of Ghost Machine Guitars in Texas. And he's a cool guy. He really likes oil finish guitars.
And he's wrong. Oh, wait. No.
And I do too. As a matter of fact, if it was up to me, every guitar would have an oil finish. Unfortunately, in our, I guess, demographic, people want shinier stuff, so that's what we make. Some
do, yeah. Some of that is probably my influence. Yeah, somebody says, "Well, we all have personal preferences, right?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I have personal preferences, and Fuddisms aren't.
That's not
a lack of personal preferences.
Yeah,
because I still have personal preferences about things.
Yeah, I think if you're opinionated, that doesn't make you a Fudd. But if you try and force your whatever stuff onto other people's
or you're so close-minded that you can't somewhat expand your world into maybe the possibility of liking something different. I used to be really, really particular about certain things like frets and radius and things like that, and I've become less of that.
Have we put the whole radius thing to bed? Everybody has watched and read the blog on just what the differences are? I bet you if Bob Quigley's watching, he probably hasn't been convinced yet.
Yeah.
But have we been able to convince you that if you want it, happy meal, do what you want. But if you think you need it, you probably don't.
Yep. Nothing beats nitro oil, and I love red guitars too. Yep.
They are cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. Like we were talking about the guitars that were popular at the NAMM show were the ones that we would have left, that would have been the first ones left behind if we didn't have room in the car. They were the most popular ones. They caught everybody's eye, and they they were the most attention grabbing instruments that we brought. And the stuff that we really liked, we're kind of like, oh yeah, neat. Well, what about that one with the leopard, or what about that one with the green fabric stuff?
Yeah.
And rather than try and force people to like what I liked and make them enjoy the nuances in the look at this black finish that Chris did. It's perfect in every detail, and I want you to notice it and acknowledge that. I'm not going to do that, but it seems like some Fudds on forums want that. They want you to acknowledge their purchase, or they want to have their thing be what do you call it when you look for validation? They want to be validated.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's nitro oil? And this is from Richard Ryan. So I mean, honestly, if
Richard Ryan is messing with us.
If you don't know, we can't tell you, Richard.
He's messing with us.
No, somebody else mentioned that, and Richard says, "What is nitro oil?"
Okay.
Yeah, it's oil made of nitro. It says it right in the title, dude.
So the number one thing, it's not going to say pet peeve, but when people call me and go, "Can you use nitro? Do you use nitro? Just say the whole word. It's nitrocellulose and then lacquer at the end of it. And we do not spray any nitrocellulose lacquer or acrylic lacquer. There's a lot of reasons that we don't. Chief among them is fire hazard. Plus, we actually really like the results that we're getting with modern paints. Now, if you want a guitar that will crack and check and look like an old guitar, fast or age normally like the older guitars do, then nitrocellulose or acrylic lacquer is for you. But if you want fancy paints and colors that are an unbelievable array of colors, then maybe give the modern paints a shot. Again, the thickness of the paint is more up to the workforce, not up to the paint type.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And our modern paint that we use is thinner than Fender's.
It sure seems that way. We had one guitar at the NAMM show actually got a chip in it. And you know how like if you have people do this all the time. Hey, how do I fix this chip on my Squire? And it's like a big hunk of paint that comes off in a big chunk and it's thick as a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this was it. Well, it wasn't that big. It was just like a tiny pinhead size fleck of paint that came off. But yeah, it's hard. There's hardly any paint there. There's hardly any clear there. So.
Yeah. But everybody gets all like wound up about lacquer finishes being thin, and a lot of them aren't that thin. And you look at some Gibsons that have been chipped and Fenders that have been chipped, and it's a lot thicker than you would think, because you can pile that stuff on there the same as you can modern paint. So and they do, because that's what you have to do to make sure that you don't buff through. So one of the things that I used to be very fuddy about, there's a lot of guitar building Fudd stuff, and one of the things that I used to be fuddy about, I was Fudd-tastic about, was neck pockets, and how the neck pockets had to be so tight that they would damage the neck practically when you put them in. You know what I mean? And that was when I first started, and I was working with a guy who that was his thing, and and he's a Fudd too. And Bruce would be the first person to tell you that he's a Fudd, but that's his thing. And since then I've discovered that, well, gosh, it doesn't need to be as tight as I thought. And if you want it to be tight, have it be tight. If you want to make guitars and if you want to tell people they're doing something wrong, then you're a Fudd. If you want to enjoy the way that you do stuff, then yeah. Anyway, we're probably beating this to death. Everyone knows. Well, and the paint thing for sure. We talk about that a lot. You and I were late converts to modern urethane finishes. Yeah. And we were. I remember we were in this shop basically yelling at each other in agreement about why we weren't going to use
modern paints.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there was
I like lacquer because of this.
Well,
Oh yeah, well I like
there's certain places that you go where if you're not painting with lacquer, don't even bother showing that stuff off here.
Yeah.
And I was kind of involved in some of that.
That's some fuddy stuff. Yeah.
It really is. And there's all sorts of other fuddy things that particular group says that I don't adhere to anymore. But for a long time, I sort of did. And one of the things, and really we talked about this earlier, it's the fear because, I couldn't hear a difference between any of that stuff. But I thought, well, but if all these people are talking about it, maybe they can. And maybe it really is a thing. I used to obsess over what kind of screws to use. Like
that's right.
Like, can I go to the hardware store and buy?
You'd be surprised how many people don't know how important screws are.
Yeah. Can I buy pickguard screws at the hardware store that are going to work?
No.
Yes, you can. They're number 4s.
And certainly Leo Fender would have used some tone specific thing.
Well, and that's the thing. Neck screws was the first one that really that I really thought about. I didn't have any neck screws, and I went to the hardware store and I'm like, well, I don't know if I can. It looks the same. Is this the same? What if it's not? What if it doesn't transfer the sonic energy the right way?
Did someone tell you that?
Well, I might have read something about that somewhere. I don't know.
Did some Fudd tell you that you have to have a specific screw?
Well, I think it probably started with the neck plate, like that. How thick is the neck plate? Oh, it's got to be really, really thick. Well, on original Fenders, they weren't that thick.
Yeah,
wasn't that big of a deal.
Somehow they managed to make guitars.
Exactly. Yeah, out of parts that you could buy at the local hardware store.
Yeah,
and slowly I figured out. Well, no, the real secret is just stainless steel screws because the others look blue, but it doesn't matter.
Get up to
but. Yeah, and then there was frets, and there was this and there was that, the whole wire thing, that's one of my favorite ones is that you have to use cloth wire, cloth covered wire, because it and also that you can't have thin wire wiring
so great big thick wire together with a cloth covering.
Yes, and you can't have thin wire going from pot to pot and from pot to output jack and all of that, and pot to switch and all of that. That stuff just doesn't conduct the energy that you want when the pickup is wound with 42 gauge wire, which is like hair thickness. And it's and it's not, there's nothing going through that stuff. It's not it's not throwing big watts down. It's a passive thing. But anyway.
Well, we're going to see. Maybe some people are commenting on things that we're how wrong we are.
Yeah, tone wire. See, you got to have it. Yeah,
I bet you there's how many unlikes do we have so far?
I don't know because I don't know how to get there from here. But
yeah, that's okay. I'm sure
we have 46 people. We've been growing. Cool. And screws don't know their Fender screws. Not until you tell them. Yeah.
There seems to always
Texas
be
Toast the screws, $10 each, covered in thin nitro finish. Yes. That's a great idea. And that's a thing too. Yeah. Fender screws in a bag. There's 10 of them and they're $10. Or you can get a bag of 100 for $4 on Amazon Prime, delivered the next day.
We have some Fudds that watch these videos and dislike them every single time. And I don't know who these guys are but clearly I'm gonna assume they don't watch the videos. They just go on, I hate those guys, and then dislike them.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of videos recently, music videos or guitar guy videos, where instantly they get 3 or 4 haters right off the bat. Yeah.
Well, I hope that the people who go on to our video page and press the dislike button are going on to forums and telling everyone how much they hate us.
I do that on all the Gene forums and all the yogurt forums. All the yogurt
Chinese
videos
food forums are the worst. Those guys are relentless.
Oh man, don't get me started on the yogurt Fudds.
Yogurt Fudds.
Oh man.
So are there any new online Fudd stories that people are telling us about?
Yeah. If lacquer is the be all end all of tone and sustain, then Dan Armstrong plexiglass, Steinberger and Rickenbacker frying pan electric and Kramer aluminum necks would not work.
I love the Dan Armstrong and the Kramers and the Travis Beans. Any of those alternate construction method guitars are really cool. And I love working with wood, but I love those aluminum necks and plastic bodies. I think they're cool, especially the older stuff. Excuse me. Oh my God. So that was actually just me coughing.
Choking on your own spit?
Choking on my own something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually have a Dan Armstrong. And we're going to start a new video series where I haven't figured out what it's going to be called yet. I've already shot 2 or 3 of the videos, but I'm doing the very first video is going to be me and my Dan Armstrong. And I'm just going to tell you guys about the guitar. I'm not going to, I'm just going to tell you why I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be videos of me, taking Mark Ignisi's place, not for anyone, just for me. So we're going to be doing that in conjunction with our buddies at Flipside Music. And yeah, so stay tuned for those. I've been meaning to do these for a while. You were actually there the first day we did some of those videos, and it's just, then there was the NAMM show and there's some other stuff that happened. So we've got these videos, they're in the can. I just want to start the video series with me and my Dan Armstrong. So telling you guys about what it is and what cool little things as a guitar builder I notice on that. And there's a handful of other videos that are ready to go. So watch for those.
Yeah, cool. What was I going to say? It was going to be so impressive. You're going to be just, I know. Just the whole idea that in a lot of ways, I mean, we kind of do this as a business, but I just like guitars, and I like looking at guitars and working on them and building them and playing them. And sometimes I feel guilty as a guitar builder and as a guy that works here at Texas Toast for liking other guitars. Like you walk around the NAMM show and you go, oh, that's kind of neat. And I wouldn't mind having one of those, but
I do that too. Yeah. I look at stuff and I go, wow, that's really a great idea that, someone is really smart, whoever came up with that, whatever thing that it is.
Yeah. And just, I mean, I got into guitars because I liked guitars and I liked lots of different guitars. So yeah, and they're still really fun. And sometimes it's hard to separate guitars from guitarists or people that try and lead you down certain ways. But at the end of the day, guitars are fun.
Yeah, and yeah,
Let's
if you try and take
the
fun out of guitars, that's not cool.
Yeah, and I've been involved in other industries where I think there's those people that try and take the fun out of everything, and sometimes I wonder if they're having fun.
You tell me stories about the. So for those of you who don't know, Chris used to own a bike shop, and he tells stories about what customers and suppliers and sales guys, and it's like it's the same for every industry I've ever been in, and whether it's guitars or firearms, or I'm sure you guys probably have stories too. Chris has stories from other industries, and it's all the same people ruining stuff for everybody else. It seems like
and it's like you're so miserable, you're not having fun with this thing that everybody else is having fun with. Go away.
I really like nachos, but only if I can't believe you're cooking them in that skillet. That's all wrong, and I'm not going to be able to enjoy it. And fuck you. I just want some nachos, man.
Yeah. Can we just ride bikes or just play guitars or just do it? Because none of us are the best. There's always somebody better than, no matter what you're doing. There's somebody better. Maybe not even on a given day. Just sure. There's always somebody better. So
it's not hard to find someone who's better than me. At
whatever you're doing,
on
even
day,
that bell curve gets awfully steep at the end. Hey, I used to say, unless your name is Lance Armstrong, there's nobody better. But even then, yeah.
Yep.
So,
yep. One testy Lance. What happened to Lance Armstrong? What's he doing now?
Oh, he was he was disgraced, and he's still like a kind of a pseudo celebrity, and
was he doing steroids or blood doping or both?
All of it.
Okay.
Everything and anything, and then he lied and threw all of his friends under that bus as they all got busted and all came clean, and he threw them all under the bus.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. And everybody in cycling kind of knew that that's probably what was going on, that he was cheating. And me personally, in a lot of ways, no. And you know why? Because I don't want to watch slow bicycle racing.
Slow racing.
It's like going to the drags and and they're riding big wheels. I don't want to see slow bicycles. I want to see fast bicycles, and I know that's how you ride bicycles fast, is you cheat.
Okay. All right.
So Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, do you think
and that wrecked that sport? All those guys that are, it wrecked the sport, not the cheaters, the guys that busted the cheaters a
they all
decade
knew.
after they did it.
Everyone knew that who was cheating.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we're doing this for the sport. No, you're not. You're doing it for some other weird reason.
Is there money involved?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Yeah, somewhere, somehow. But yeah, it ruined that sport for me. So,
well, that's a bummer.
Well, hey, what are you gonna do?
How has anyone? We got any action in the?
Yeah. Well, everybody's just agreeing with us because we're so cool.
That hardly ever happens.
Surfers do the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, I bet you those guys can.
Yeah, I bet you they really do. Because there's only so much surf.
That's true. It's a real heavy local scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a finite resource.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. One of my favorite scenes in a movie is Lords of Dogtown, and they're out on the boards, and the guy paddles out with that guy's carburetor and drops it into the water.
Well, that was they talked about doing that in that Stacy Peralta movie, Dogtown and Z-Boys, which was a great movie. And they talked about throwing someone's
about that.
carburetor.
Well, yeah,
that
and that's
scene, how it actually
that
happened.
Was probably a real thing. Yeah. That's hilarious. It's only cheating if you were caught. Famous NASCAR quote. Yeah.
Clint Smith says, "Always cheat, always win."
Mm-hmm.
Who might argue with Clint Smith?
And so I raced bicycles for a lot of years, and I didn't cheat. I mean, I didn't take performance enhancing drugs or anything like that, but I would do anything and everything within the rules, and even maybe bend that rule just slightly to get ahead.
What was the most bending that you did?
Well, just equipment wise, just certain things. I mean,
carbon fiber.
No, because this was pre-carbon fiber, but just things, and just being aware of the rules.
Didn't you get caught cheating in the Pinewood Derby races too?
Yes, I did get caught.
Not as a Cub Scout, but actually as an adult. Just cheating versus a bunch of Cub Scouts, dressing up like you were 11, and it's a rumor I don't mind spreading.
No, it was cheating with a Cub Scout's mother. It wasn't cheating it was during the Pinewood Derby, but it wasn't at the Pinewood Derby.
I knew it had something to do with Pinewood Derby.
No, it was none of that. This is dumb.
Pinewood Derby. Well, I think anything where there's lots of rules, everybody tries to bend them. Everybody tries to
well, and then you have to interpret those rules a slightly different way, maybe.
And that's fine. Whatever. But so guitar Fudds are the same as Fudds in every industry, and we want to call those guys out, and we want you guys to let people know when they're being a Fudd. So, and you know what? Even if that's me, because it probably is going to be me a lot of times. So
I think don't let Fudds get you down.
Yeah, don't let Fudds get you down. Yeah. What are some other things that Fudds talk about constantly?
Guitar Fudds,
or
just Fudds in general? Fudds. Guitar Fudds. Yeah. Well, the tone, and I can't get the tone, and
chasing tone is
that's actually the number one, and a lot of it
it's admirable. But usually, what happens is it stops being a vision quest for one person, and it becomes this nightmare for everybody else who has to listen to this guy yap about his tone, and your tone sucks, and what it was you had a great line about someone's tone who sucked, or someone who had a sucky tone was probably just out of tune.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So
and guys who can play, and guys who can't talk about their tone,
bitch about stuff on the internet.
There's not just one true and holy sound. And I like the idea that there's crap and there's perfection, and there's nothing in between. And these pickups are crap, and these pickups are perfection.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, pickups are another one of those things that are really Fudd laden with Fudd-isms. And the American machines where pickups are made are definitely better than the guys. Pickups are wire and magnets. And if you make them the same way that they did back in the old days, don't be surprised if they sound like the pickups from back in the old days. It's just me. That's just me and science. So yeah, guitar Fudds. They're out there, people. Don't let them get you down. Punch back. punch above your weight class and punch up. That's another thing. Fudds always punch down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's beating on those people who are like, hey, I got this thing. Is it any good? And then they're like Fudd all over it. You know, they never go after someone who's like some sort of internet forum shot caller.
Yeah.
Have you read my blog about internet forums and why I don't go on them?
Yes, I have.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah. Or you have the guy that demands the best in everything, but starts with the cheapest of everything.
Yeah.
And then complains about it not being the best, which you could kind of expect. Something else I was thinking about on the drive over here today while I was thinking about Fudds was this whole Tone Quest thing.
Yeah.
And when that started and where it started and the guys and who were the biggest abusers of that. And a lot of it, I think, are the blues guys.
Eric Johnson, I think, might be like in the running for most wasted life chasing for Tone. I mean, he got a divorce over it, and
maybe
he even says in some interviews that, like, man, some of the stuff that I obsessed over was like, I guess,
but you know, like heavy metal guys, they get a guitar they like and they play, and they're pretty solid with it. It seems like, and but blues guys are constantly worried about wood and pickups and fretboards and frets and da-da-da. Like their music is somehow, well, and this is another thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's closer to the origins of music or something like that. I don't know. But I think I got a lot of my weird Fuddism stuff from the blues.
And the funny thing is, again, I'm not trying to convince people to not get the neat stuff that they like, because if it weren't for people buying neat stuff, I wouldn't be able to do this. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't have to obsess over it. You don't have to like beat people over the head with your obsession either. So is there anything happening that we need to
there's lots of good stuff here. Just chat in between, you know, people.
I like that there's chat in between, you know, like we're doing whatever we're doing and people are doing whatever.
Like,
I think that's cool.
We're not really listening to these guys.
Yeah, these turds.
This is,
So what's going on for this week, Chris? What are we gonna do? We've got a few more minutes here before we're gonna wrap this one up.
Okay.
What's on the schedule for this week?
There's gonna be some painting going on.
A lot of laughs.
Yeah, a lot of laughs, and we might learn something too on a very special episode.
I actually have to do some shaping, some binding. I have a list of stuff, some fretting. There's a lot of good stuff going on, and there are no projects in the shop right now that are like we're just making them to make them.
No,
we're just catching up on orders right now.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a trend that's going to happen for a while, because we finished up a bunch of stuff that wasn't for us, it was for the show, but you know, so
actually now's a good time if you want to be a Fudd and, you know, order
if
you want to call and Fudd out about some, you know, some guitar stuff, now is actually a great
and
time.
I played facilitator today and yesterday.
What do you mean?
Both days. I mean, I was basically shop teacher both days in a lot of ways.
I think, what do you guys think if, you know, this is pie in the sky stuff, but what would you think if Chris and I opened up a guitar building school? What would you guys think of that? Because that is something that we talk about, and I'd like to breathe some life into that and see where we can get that to go. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, because as you know, I've always said I don't really want to make anything or do anything. I just want to tell other people what to do.
This could be a great boon for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I can just sit there and go, "You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong."
Or can you show me? Well, I can, but who's going to learn then?
I'm paying you to show me, and you're not showing me.
You're paying me to tell you that you're doing it wrong.
There was you actually talked about how you would operate, and you would not actually do this, but you were goofing around and saying, "Well, I would just sit up at the desk, and people would bring stuff to me, and I'd go, no, you need to do this more."
Yeah,
do that more. That's not the way your personality works.
No, and I actually
you would jump in and get hands-on with that,
and that's
stuff.
Part of the problem when I do that around the shop is a lot of times I think I show them almost to the point of completion, and then I'm like, okay, now you finish it, and they're like, okay, it's done.
Yeah,
because I did most of it. Yeah, and that's the way it's been in the past too.
So if we had a guitar building school, what would you do? Like, let's say we had a group, we had a class, and that class's primary focus was we're gonna build a guitar neck. Would you like work on a neck at the same time and be like, that would be your demonstrator neck, and then show everybody on that one? Or would you, because you know what they did at Roberto Venn when I was there is they would work on other people's stuff. So if you were that one guy, you didn't get to do it, and that wasn't very cool.
Yeah, no,
I don't think they do that anymore.
I would either do my own, or I would maybe take pity on the guy whose wasn't quite right, and each week or each day or each step of the way try and help somebody else out. But I probably do my own.
The hardest part for me would be letting people make those errors that you have to make.
Yeah.
You have to make them.
Yeah, and a lot of times, and in the past, in a school situation, the first thing that you should say is, you're going to screw this up.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you're going to end up with something that's usable. But if you don't, that's okay, because we're going to make another one after this, and that one will be better, and the one after that will be better. Not everything has to be perfect. Let's make a bunch of mistakes and learn from those and go from there.
Yeah. Let's fail quickly. And
we're going to use cheap materials. We're gonna this isn't the last guitar you're
this doesn't
build.
have to be the perfect guitar, and it's not gonna be either. So
yeah. So let's get started. Let's not be afraid, and that's unfortunately that doesn't happen here, because a lot of times guys come over and it's they have a very specific thing they want to build out of a very specific product. And
it's one thing for someone who says, hey, Matt and Chris, I want you to make this thing for me, and I want it to look like this when it's done. But when someone shows up with, hey, I want you to help me with this thing, can we make a Telecaster? I wonder why we came up with that. But yeah, so I want to bind this neck, or I want to level and dress these frets. Okay. I think there should be more videos on real basic, like fret leveling, fret dressing. Would you guys like to see those too? That was an idea that we actually had, was to do more kind of basic guitar building videos, and maybe even incorporate some, dare I say, hand tools. One that I want to do, Chris, and you're not going to like this, is fretboard radius.
By hand?
With a block.
Well, as long as I don't have to do it, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not doing one that way.
We saw some guys laboring under block sanding while we were in Nashville. And, it's a lot of work, and it's not fun, and I don't recommend that you do that, but you can get very good results when you do, provided you take some time and follow some steps. So I think I will do some videos like that. I hope you guys enjoy those, but let me know if that's something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
We'll go down that path a little bit. What you got?
Hang on here. There was some funny stuff. I'd love to learn some tricks of building, which I know you'll have a comment about.
Everybody wants to learn the tricks of the trade. They don't want to learn the trade. And we try to actually have videos with nothing but tricks in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really. That's kind of what you do. You never show the, here's the way everybody does it.
Here's
you use
the
a bandsaw.
Unbelievably boring thing. I try to show as many tricks as I possibly can. One thing that Mrs. Texas Toast has wanted me to do for a while is to get literary and do more writing. And I would like to, maybe a book or a DVD series. I think a book would be better than a DVD, because DVD, for everything that you could, there's something about reading a book and comprehending and looking at a picture. I think, at least I like that, but I'm old school. I don't know if people, I don't know what people do anymore. Read. I can read. Let me know what you guys think about that too. I would love to hear your opinions on, a guitar building series, either in, video or book form. I think that would be fun. I was actually talking with a guy at the NAMM show who runs an online magazine, and I want to get with him about doing some articles. I think that would be fun too. Yeah,
there's some comments about we should build kits.
We build kits all the time for people. If you want us to put a kit together for you that you can finish off, that's something that we do a lot of, and would love to do more. So
yeah, and our kits are just, you know, bodies and necks. They don't have all the parts.
Unless I guess we could
do that.
stuff,
yeah, we could do that too. They wouldn't be cheap. That's the one thing. And we've looked into even doing some videos about buying a kit from whoever, and showing a build. And there's lots of guys that do that. And frankly, I think some of them do a fine enough job with that we wouldn't have a whole lot more to offer. Everything that we would offer is super fancy finish, and
or it would be things that there's no kit for. You know, if you wanted, so for example, one of the reasons that we started to make the modern style of guitars, someone said, "Hey, can you make me modern and just not paint it? I want to paint it." Sure, man, no sweat. We've got a handful of projects right now that, you know, I've got this body shape that I made, and I got this headstock that I designed. I want you guys to make it for me. The scale is this, and here's a full-size drawing. There's stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Yeah, geez, as I mumble to myself.
Mumble.
Ooh, yikes. Sometimes I just look down at something and I'm like, well, I can't say that.
Yeah, you can say whatever it is. Come on, what is it?
No.
Come on.
No.
Is it racist?
No.
Okay. Is it sexist?
No. Is it sexy?
Is it sexy?
No.
Is it classy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't say it, but okay. Well.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll tell me after the show's over.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, now I'm lost. I'm totally lost on what's going on.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. It's hot and it's tired.
It is, and I, you know, I still kind of feel like Nashville.
I am still a little bit
worn down. It's
hit by and
I think a lot of it was the final push. It wasn't just Nashville. It was the push to get everything ready for Nashville
last week before or 2
and it
weeks.
was all encompassing, and all I did was think about buffing and assembling guitars. And so
that was
hard to step away from that for a couple of days.
A big heavy hitter.
No
doubt about it.
Oh, so here, let's just talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
There was one about a lack of really good guitar building videos, starting from the beginning with hand tools to advanced techniques with power tools.
Yeah, see, I think that would be something that would be a great resource for a lot of people, and something that I would have a lot of fun with. I don't know how long it would take, but
it would take a while, and I think going back, that's one of the problems with a lot of the cool tools that we have, is going back to doing it the old way. We're well aware that those ways take way longer, and a lot of your results aren't as good.
And guys, you got to know something. If you want to build guitars, you're going to have to make a tool investment. I know I'm not telling y'all anything you don't already know, but you would be surprised how many people that ask me stuff. Well, how would you do that if all you had was a Dremel? You wouldn't. You'd need to go buy some more tools. I've actually gotten that. See if you can build an entire guitar with a Dremel tool. Well, it would never occur to me to try that. You know,
and we could.
I don't know that I could.
And you could. It wouldn't be any fun for you.
No,
you'd lose. You'd lose
it would
interest in
take
it pretty fast.
Unbelievable amount of time. Yeah. So
and
there, when I first started, when I graduated from Roberto Van, I didn't have a boatload of tools. I would have to go and I've told this story a bunch. I would go to woodworking shops and I would bring beer to those guys and, you know, have them either do stuff for me or let me, you know, rent shop space for, you know, a half hour at a time. Hey, I need to use your, I need a thickness sander. I don't have one. You do. Can I rent time on it? You know, I don't have a joiner. You do. Can you get these ready? Get these boards ready for me to glue, and so on.
Yeah, there's co-ops in towns too that I've seen, and when we go and buy lumber, there's one that I see on the bulletin board, and you can rent shop time, and there's a guy there, facilitating your project and hopefully making sure you don't cut off a finger, but that's about as far as it goes.
We were talking.
Can I spray a guitar with a Dremel? Yes, you
sure can. we were talking about, someone was like, well, hey, I don't have a joiner or a thickness sander or a planer. but I really want to make a guitar body. How do I glue it together? You don't. You go to Dan at Guitar Wood Experts and you buy a blank that's ready to go. Now, it costs more than buying wood and gluing it together yourself. But if you don't have those tools, then you got to find a workaround on that. And that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And a lot of this stuff you can do with regular tools. Going back for me, I know it would be torture. And for Matt, it might be the same, but going back and doing it the old way, even just router, well, even just for a video, I have no desire to do that at all. So, you know, but maybe, I mean, if you want to,
if people would be willing to, you know, shell out for that stuff, then I would be willing to do it. And it might be a really fun exercise to, you know, that way, every time I get those questions, hey, how come you don't do stuff with hand tools? I did a bunch of stuff with hand tools. I just didn't make videos about it. So.
Yeah. And with some of the apprentices that come in the shop, that was one of the things that we talked about. And you were all for it. And I was like, don't torture those poor people with that stuff. But yeah, let's make them do it the old way. Like we had to learn that way. That's right. Way. Yeah. Push mower first before riding mower and standard transmission before automatic.
Yeah. So the I think what we came to though was if you're just learning to drive and you're that guy who goes, you need to learn how to use a manual transmission before you learn to use an automatic, because that's the hard way. What about all the other shit that's going on that you're not used to? Yeah, you know what I mean? There's other cars on the road and there's lights and things and, you know, noises and sounds. And do you really have to make it that much more difficult by adding a shift and clutch thing component to that? So anyway,
yeah.
Well, that's enough for today, you guys. So thanks for joining us on our podcast. Make sure to tune in next week. And we've got more videos coming at you this week. So anyway, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you're one of those 4 people who dislikes every single video, how you doing? Make sure to dislike this as much as you possibly can. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. We've got a bunch of new Patreon supporters, not just brand new guys, but new people who've kind of leveled up on Patreon. So that's really awesome. If you can't do Patreon, we totally get it. Make sure to share this video on Insta, Google, Twitface, and that's very, very helpful too. And I don't know. I guess that's it. So guys, this is Matt at Texas Toast.
This is Chris. Other hand.
Hey, there you go.
There we go.
And so, hey, life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. And if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. I'm going to go shut it off now.
Okay. I'll sit here and do this.
I might just let it keep going for a while.